This is Johanna Thomas talking with Baheer from Kinetic for Health, all about medicinal mushrooms from the OM Organic Mushroom Nutrition brand that they distribute. Recently, medicinal mushrooms have been attracting the attention of wellness communities so much, so there is now a crop of new companies that sells blends and singular varieties of these ancient healing mushrooms. OM is leading the way. Baheer, welcome to the Way Forward show.
Thank you for having me, Joanna.
Pleasure. Now, Baheer, tell us, who are OM mushrooms?
The OM mushrooms were first developed in California by a team of mycologists who, amongst themselves, had more than 30 years' experience each. So, over the years, they learned about different cultivation methods, different ways of growing the mushrooms and different substrates, and eventually they decided to make their own brand called OM Mushroom, and they're quite unique in the respect that everything is done in-house in California, from the bag all the way to the from the spores all the way to the packaging is done in-house.
Oh wow, so that's what makes them so special compared to other brands, is it? Or
I would say that's one of the aspects. Otherwise, there's quite a few more. For example, they're one of the few companies that actually do heavy metal testing. And also in regards to the way they're processed. So a lot of brands would decide to isolate and separate many of the active ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this brand, they like to use the whole mushroom. So there's a distinct advantage. Mushrooms are not just if you start to extract particular ingredients, you turn them into drug-like compounds. The same way many pharmaceutical drugs are actually derivatives of many plants.
Yes.
So, where a mushroom come into play, they don't like to extract particular actives or so-called actives. They look at the whole mushroom because the mushroom has, for example, prebiotic fiber, selenium-like compounds, vitamin D in the form of D2, antioxidants, and their kind of so-called actives, which are the polysaccharides and triterpenes. Now, you see there's a quite complex array of components in the mushroom. Now, if you isolate 2 or 3 of them, you'll have a drug-like effect, which is, in some instances, it may be necessary to go into that route of therapy, but generally speaking, it's the full spectrum of components that work in synergy,
right,
and that are unadulterated in the process that a mushroom has, the company. They allow the mushroom to work in harmony, and then that harmony is also kind of transferred into the body. You have harmony in the way it heals the body too, rather than just spinning plates with different isolated compounds.
Sure, so the body can take what it needs and not use what it doesn't need, right? So that's great.
More so in the sense that there are certain organ groups that are not attended to with isolated compounds. So with the OM mushroom, you've got prebiotic fiber for the gut, you've got certain compounds to help with the immune system for the white blood cells, and you can see that by healing or fighting an infection, you wouldn't just take an antiviral. You want to make sure the gut microbiome is good, you want to make sure the white blood cells are fighting well, and you have an antiviral action too.
Amazing.
So it works.
All in synergy together.
Yeah.
That's great. So medicinal mushrooms, I mean, they do have wide-ranging health and wellness properties. They can be beautifying, energizing, disease-fighting, and anti-inflammatory. But why don't you tell us what mushrooms OM sell in their range and what the specific health benefits are related to each one?
Of course. So we can start with, for example, Reishi. It's considered to be the mushroom of immortality. And before I begin, a lot for the listeners who may not have a background in nutrition and may be a bit wary of using mushrooms, they are very different to the culinary mushrooms you found in the supermarket. They don't cause yeast overgrowth. They don't exacerbate candida. They have very different effects. They're actually antifungal, and they won't exacerbate any candida symptoms. So that tends to be, from my experience, one of the setbacks for a lot of consumers. They automatically associate them with culinary mushrooms
and
some of the issues associated with that. side,
Yeah.
the reishi mushroom is probably one of the more popular mushrooms, especially from the Far East, and it's one of the most studied mushrooms in the West. So obviously these mushrooms have been used for thousands of years in the Far East, and only in the last 60, 70 years have they been considered medicine in the West. And so reishi is probably the most studied mushroom, with numerous scientific publications with regards to cholesterol, cardiovascular benefits, so they can help manage blood lipids through a very gentle statin-like action, but without the detrimental effects of statins. And also, because of the nature of mushrooms, I think they share about 20-25% of DNA with humans. So their actions are quite deep. So you'll find a mushroom does so many different things. Like reishi, not only does it help with cardiovascular and blood and lipids, it also helps with histamine levels. So many people suffering from allergies, whether it's pollen, dust mite, reishi works fantastic as an antihistamine. I actually personally use it myself for that reason. And then it also has the third action of, or one of many, because the list is huge in terms of what reishi can do, but one of the more, what it's more known for is also its cortisol and stress managing benefits. So it can actually help lower your baseline cortisol stress hormone levels. So it's fantastic. And that's why they call it the mushroom of immortality.
Okay.
So you're kind of targeting many of the parameters which tend to decline as we get older, which is cardiovascular health, low-grade inflammation, and of course stress.
Okay, and then the other mushrooms?
So then we've got cordyceps mushroom, which is great for energy. It's one of that is naturally grown in high altitudes, but of course that's a non-vegan version. So we have the vegan version, which is grown indoors. That mushroom is associated with cardiovascular benefits, respiratory benefits. So breathing, improving oxygen uptake, ATP synthesis, which is basically the currency of energy. So it can help you to improve your energy levels, your breathing. It's very popular amongst athletes as well. Because of that reason, it can help improve their performance. But you don't have to be an athlete to take the product. You can just be regular Joe who just wants to improve their energy levels and get better quality of life.
Yeah.
Then we can move on to lion's mane. This is very popular, and most people who are kind of in tune with the natural products, the way things are moving, it's becoming a popular product because of its cognitive enhancing benefits. It can help with improving memory, mental focus, and lots of studies on brain injuries. So people who have had car accidents, have had loss in connections between certain parts of the brain. They found that lion's mane have helped reconnect certain parts of the brain.
Wow.
Whether it's speech fluency issues or motor functions, it's helped tremendously.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to be a victim of a car crash to use the product.
No, of course
you can
not.
use the product if you just want to enhance your memory, or you're studying for an exam, or you find things you're just a bit foggier than usual. So lots of studies to say about how it has increased a endogenous brain peptide, which is nerve growth factor. So it can help enhance that in the brain, and thereby stimulating neurogenesis, which is the stimulation of new neurons in the brain. So fantastic for that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is there another one? Or?
Mushroom. There is. We've also got Maitake mushroom, which is not as popular, but I think it's an unsung hero, because most people, they'll go straight for metformin for blood sugar balancing, and that's
diabetes.
Like a last resort.
Yeah.
However, you have so many different earlier stages that you can intervene with natural products like Maitake. Maitake mushroom is great for resensitizing the body to insulin and helping to balance blood sugar, which is a common cause of many other health ailments, whether it's nerve damage or a weight gain or candida overgrowth. So by tackling it early on enough with something like Maitake, you can prevent so many other health issues and keep your energy levels and weight managed. It can help reduce the blood sugar levels through reducing the uptake from the gut. also resensitizes the body to insulin through its effect on the pancreas as well.
Wow, amazing. So there's a mushroom blend for everyone and to heal all sorts of things. So what form do the mushrooms come in? They're powder, aren't they?
That's right. So the mushrooms from Om Mushroom come in a powder form in a small pouch, which is recyclable, and all the mushrooms are tested for heavy metals. So the powders are generally recommended to be used either in a smoothie. You can mix it into coffees, which is becoming very popular. You can mix it into any kind of nut milk. Dairy is not recommended just because it kind of slows the effects. And you can also be more creative. You can mix it into your soups.
Sure.
You can mix it into dips like hummus. So they're very versatile.
Okay, and they can be heated then, yes?
They can be heated.
Right.
The only difference is that there are certain biolive enzymes, so you will forego some of the enzymes when you heat them.
Right, okay.
But the medicinal action is not affected.
I see. So you could do recipes and all that kind of thing with it.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. And now, importantly, tell us, where can listeners get their hands on some OM mushrooms? What retail shops, online shops, where?
So they're actually available in most natural health stores in London. They're Planet Organic. They have a number of chains.
Yeah.
There's Whole Foods Market.
Yeah.
And quite a few independent stores in your local area will probably have them. And then online, we have KijaniLiving.co.uk, and we have Kinetic for Health, and the 4 is a number, kinetic4health.co.uk.
Okay.
So you've got quite a few different stores, and there'll be numerous links to your local supplier as well.
Fantastic. And what about your social media sites so that people can support and follow?
So the social media sites will be available on kinetic4health.co.uk with also on kijaniliving.co.uk.
Okay.
There'll be links to the social media on the top of the page.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it. Time is running out. So thank you so much. There you have it, listeners. Go
My
to
pleasure. Thank you for having me, Joanna. Pleasure talking.
Nice to talk to you too. Take care, Baheer. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there you have it, listeners. Go to kinetic.co.uk and order your medicinal OM organic mushrooms now. This is Johanna Thomas, your resident holistic nutritionist for The Way Forward.